It's Thursday, June 13th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. We have a lot to talk about. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Share these videos, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't subscribed, just hit the subscribe button down below. There's no obligation. It's free. Make sure to subscribe so that these videos continue to get shared through the algorithm. Now, I want to get right into things. This first article coming from Fox Business, and feel free to comment on any of this. The number of Americans filing for jobless benefits unexpectedly spikes to 10-month high. Jobless claims jump to highest level since August of 2023. 242,000 people filed jobless claims last week. That is an increase of 13,000 compared to the previous week. I believe we're going to see big trouble with unemployment, people losing their jobs. 242,000. That's a pretty substantial number, and I do believe we're gonna see months where we start breaking over 300,000. And I think we're gonna see this number get out of control. I don't think people really understand how bad the job market is about to get, or how bad it is right now. A lot of people believe that there's over 8 million jobs out there. They don't realize that most of them are part-time and that many of them don't even exist. They're fake. I do apologize if you hear some snoring. Nugget is taking a power nap right now. She doesn't have a care in the world, so she just sleeps and eats. That's her life. But we got to care about this stuff, especially if you don't have a cash reserve put away. You don't know if you could lose a job tomorrow, next week, next month, 6 months from now. It is imperative that you have a cash reserve put away at least 6 months. I think a year is where it should be now, but 6 months to a year cash reserve. If you or a spouse loses a job, so important right now. You know, if today you lost your job and you have no money saved up, the bills are coming in tomorrow, and you're gonna freak out. You're gonna go into pure chaos, panic mode, because you have no money saved up and the bills are coming in. The car payments, the rent, the mortgage, health insurance, the phone bill, the internet, food, taxes, all this. It's not going to stop. So think about, if you lost your job tomorrow, next week, how long could you survive? Could you survive at all? And wouldn't it be better just to have a cash reserve put away, because you wouldn't have to go into panic mode. You could sit back, just reevaluate everything, take a breath, and you have time to find another job, even though it's probably going to be very, very difficult to replace a good job at this point. But at least you're not going to panic. If you have no money saved up, you're paycheck to paycheck, you're going to be in panic mode. And that's what's happening now to a lot of people. And when we get this number of 243,000 jobless claims last week, this doesn't include independent contractors, people who have fallen off unemployment, people who've come out of college looking for a job. This doesn't include a lot of people. There are more people than you think unemployed right now, and more are coming. Here's another one. Treasury yields slide again after PPI fell in May. So that was some good news, right? You know, PPI fell a little bit. But my question is, who's buying all this debt? Who's buying the bonds? Who's buying the debt? And of course, you know who it is. It's the Fed. Who else would want to buy this garbage at this point? And how are they going to sell this stuff if bond yields continue to drop? Who's going to buy this? There's only one buyer out there, and that's going to be the Federal Reserve. Nobody, talking too much about this. And because one thing I was thinking about today is the U.S. dollar. And what backs the dollar? Well, we're always told oil backs the U.S. dollar. Well, we all know what happened on Sunday. It was the petrodollar agreement expired, right? And I think this is going to have huge ramifications down the road here at some point in regards to the U.S. dollar. And so if we don't have that reserve status with the petrodollar, we're going to lose a lot of our world reserve status if Saudi Arabia has no allegiance to the US dollar, and apparently it doesn't. So what backs the dollar at this point other than faith? I have no idea, because it looks like it's not going to be oil now. The world's changing, ladies and gentlemen, so be very, very careful how you're protecting your debt, or how you're protecting your wealth right now, where most people are just accumulating more debt and buying more stuff that they can't afford. We need to really understand and take the initiative how to protect our wealth. Initial claims surged to 10-month highs as California joblessness soars. We just talked about the 242,000 jobless claims last week. California last week, over 10,000 Californians filed jobless claims right here in the state of California. You can blame this on all the bureaucracy. You can blame this on the $20 minimum wage now. You can blame it on a lot of things, but California is a complete mess. And you can't just say just California is a complete mess. So many states are a mess. And what's happening in California is happening in other states right now, and it's going to happen in many other states very, very soon, because we once had a surplus. Now we have massive debt here. We're paying people $20 to flip burgers. Taxes are going up. We're supposed to get another gas tax. We pay the most for gas here in California. It just goes on and on. We don't even know where the $25 billion went to help the homeless people. So money is lost, taxes going up, we're paying more for everything, and people are losing their jobs. And another reason why they're losing their jobs is because businesses are leaving here, or they're just shutting down because they just cannot stay open with the labor costs, with taxation, and many are just leaving. And so people are going to continue to lose their jobs here in California. Here's another one from CNBC. Fears are rising. Ocean freight rates may surpass $20,000 with no relief for global trade into 2025. It's amazing, when we get the CPI numbers, we get these inflation numbers. BLS has the formula, and it seems like they manipulate this formula literally every month. And it seems like they're not calculating freight rates. This is very inflationary. The Far East, from the Far East to the United States, ocean freight rates are up between 36 and 41%. Month over month. That's an absolutely incredible number. While air freight is up 9% this year. DHL says ocean freight rate inflation might not ease up before the Chinese New Year in early 2025. Some are forecasting rates reaching between 20 and 30,000. That's for a container from the Far East. $20,000 to $30,000. This is extremely inflationary. And think about how much we buy from Asia. Literally everything we buy is from Asia, and most of it is being shipped by these cargo ships, right? These large boats. $20,000 to $30,000 for a container. So apparently they're not adding this into the CPI. And this just tells you and I that more inflation is coming. They can tell us every day till they're blue in the face that everything's fine, inflation's going down, it's going away, we're going back to 2%. How in the world is this possible when we're looking at freight rates of $20,000 to $30,000 to ship a container from the Far East? The hedge, the inflation pain persists. As most of you know, daily, you turn on the television, you're being told, I'm being told that inflation is easing up, it's settling down, we're on target to go back to 2%. Once again, reality is different from the spin. If you've been out to eat, if you've shopped for a car, if you've bought groceries, if you put gasoline in your car, that experience is telling you the truth. Not somebody in a $3,000 suit on the television. You going to the grocery store, you shopping for a car, you writing out that rent check, looking at your savings account, looking at your savings rate. How much are you saving after each paycheck? This is the truth. This is the reality, not somebody on a television. The report yesterday in regards to inflation was supposed to be good news, though inflation is intolerably high, according to this article. according to the truth, according to the grocery store, the gas pump, the utility bills. A credit-soaked Wall Street is getting excited with the Fed's fake numbers. Of course, they cannot wait. The Wall Street cannot wait for cheap money. In the article here, it made a very, very good point. Look at medical insurance. Look at the numbers. The BLS says the prices are down an incredible 19.1% since 2021. Do you believe that? Absolutely not. The low number drags down the entire index. There is no living soul in the United States of America that believes that this is true. Another thing, when BLS takes this magic formula and comes up with these magic numbers, is they don't account for shrinkflation, the additional fees that you pay for services, quality declines. When you go to the grocery store, you buy a box of cereal and you're getting a much smaller box. I've noticed, tell me if you've noticed the same thing, take a look at a cereal box. Look how narrow the box is. The box is literally like this thin. So you're getting less quality, you're paying more. But this formula that they use keeps changing, and it's not accounting for a lot of things. Month over month, we keep hearing about higher retail sales. Wow, people are outspending. Well, they're spending with credit cards at 23+%. And when they spend and they're buying that box of cereal, they're getting less quality, they're getting less cereal. And when you go out, you buy a bag of potato chips, you're getting less chips, you're paying a lot more. So, of course, people are spending more. They're having to spend more to get the same or even less. So, the data that we're getting is extremely flawed. It's extremely manipulated. It's extremely untrue. Your standard of living is declining while huge profits are being fueled by debt and funding money. Fact. The common person on the street is aware of everything I'm saying right now. I believe the people in the comments. I believe my own two eyes when I go to the store, the gas pump, when I pay for a service. I believe that way more than I believe Jerome Powell. Before I believe anybody on a television with a $3,000 suit, I believe you. I believe what I'm seeing. I believe what people are saying down below in the comments. Of course, there's going to be people that say things are great, things are wonderful. And look, maybe for those people it is. I think 10% of this country is probably doing very, very well. But what about the other 90%? Without the other 90%, we don't have a country. It's going to take a lot more than 10% of the country doing well in order for this country to survive. If 90% of this country is struggling and not surviving, we're in very, very big trouble. And that's what's happening right now. The hedge, middle class destruction, the real story behind America's declining economy. Newsweek said the middle class is gasping for air. Of course, the middle class is being strangled. It almost seems like it's an assault on the middle class. Higher prices, higher interest rates are crushing the middle class, and their standard of living is plunging. And people who are trying to stay middle class are going broke trying to stay middle class. Try and find a job right now that pays $75,000 plus. Almost impossible. Try to find a job that will pay you for 40 hours a week. Almost impossible. I want to ask all of you to please comment down below. What advice would you give people right now that are trying to survive, that are just trying to get by? What kind of advice? What kind of sacrifices? What do they need to cut out? What do they need to add in their life? Me personally, I think the biggest thing is people are going to have to cut their spending. They're going to have to cut the lifestyle. They're going to have to live below their means. Too many people taking the Vegas trips, taking the vacations this summer, going out golfing, going out to lunch every day, going out to dinner during the week, going out to the coffee house and, the Starbucks for $8 or $10. I think these are all things, me personally, in my opinion, people need to cut out. I've cut a lot of it out myself. As you know, I bought a Keurig. I make my own coffees now. I do not buy a coffee anywhere. I make it myself. I've cut out going to lunch a lot, going out to dinner a lot. I still do it now and then, here and there, but I've cut a majority of all that out of my life. I really don't take vacations. Every once in a while, we'll get out of town, but very rarely do I ever really take a vacation. Vegas is not that far away, but Vegas to me is just, boozing and gambling, and really, like, there's no attraction there for me, so I don't do that. I don't gamble. So, but there's still people that will put this on the credit card, and they will do the Vegas, they will do a 1 or 2 week vacation somewhere. They're still doing the steakhouses. They're still getting the $8 and $10 coffees. In my opinion, this stuff, you're spending, you got to start with spending. You got to cut it out. You got to make the sacrifices. And going out to lunch and dinner and coffee houses is a big one. But I want to ask all of you, what's your advice? What can we sacrifice? What can we cut out? I believe in living way below your means. I live way, way below my means. But what is your advice? Many of you have some great ideas, some great advice. I would love to hear it. I know that there's thousands of people watching today that would love to hear it. What can we cut out? What can we add? What can we add to our lives? Is it another side hustle? Is it working another 10 hours a week? What is it? Let me know your thoughts on that. The Hal Turner radio show, Russian ships conduct missile drills off the coast of Florida. So I believe what was it? Maybe was it yesterday? Tuesday, Wednesday, these ships from Russia got into Cuba, and on the way in, they were doing military exercises with precision missile weapons. Unbelievable, isn't this what's going on? And I have seen nothing at all reported today on the television with this. Here's another one today. Russian warships in Havana port carrying Mach 9 Zircon missile could hit Miami within 2 minutes. And it shows photos of this. So we have a nuclear-powered sub called Kazan, an oil tanker called Pashin, and a frigate called Admiral Gorshkov. So these things are all sitting, I believe they arrived Wednesday, actually. The Zyklon is carrying the SSN-33 missiles. This is this crazy missile, the Zyklon missile. Unbelievable. These ships are parked right now 286 nautical miles from Miami and Florida. They're saying that there are no nuclear missiles on board, according to the Cuban Foreign Ministry. Do you believe that? How do we even know? Is that true? I have no idea. These missiles are 9 times faster than sound. This is unbelievable. Could hit Miami in 2 minutes. The maximum firing range is 930 miles for this missile. So I guess if we're going to go over to Eastern Europe and we're going to get involved over there, then I guess Russia is just going to be floating right off the coast of Miami, quite possibly with nuclear missiles. So we have a nuclear sub there. We got a frigate there. And these missiles, there's nothing in the world to even compare to these missiles. 9 times faster than sound, and they can go almost 1,000 miles. So I think America better realize that America is very touchable. That if we want to keep escalating things over there, things over here are going to begin to escalate. And these countries like Russia have the technology and the nuclear capability to really hurt this country. So I wish we would just stop with these wars, financing these wars, sending munitions over there, and our technology. It's got to stop. It really does, because this is going to escalate, and Americans just think that we're untouchable. When we have a nuclear sub now floating around off the coast of Wednesday, they've got the U.S. Coast Guard all over Florida now. That sub has been floating around, and nobody even talks about it. Nobody talks about it. So be prepared for anything, ladies and gentlemen. We have a ship with nuclear missiles. We've got a nuclear submarine not that far away, and nobody even talks about it. No big deal, nothing to worry about. People, your life could change in the blink of an eye, literally in a blink of an eye. So I'm going to wrap it up right there. So much happening. When you look back a couple years ago, and we fast forward to where we are today, to think now we have Russian vessels off of our coast with nuclear capabilities, nearly $35 trillion of U.S. debt. People are losing their jobs by the thousands every day. Inflation, we don't even know what the real inflation number is. This could be, I mean, are we at 40-year highs, 50-year highs, 100-year highs? Nobody even knows right now. We don't know what the real data is. We don't even really know how many people are unemployed in this country. We don't even know how many real jobs are available in this country. Nobody really knows anything. So be very, very careful. What we do know is the economy is on life support. The economy is collapsing right before your very eyes. The middle class and the poor are struggling like they have never struggled before in this country. And this is why every one of us, you and I, need to be preparing daily, walking the walk, getting stronger, getting more independent financially, physically, spiritually, having combative skills. We have got to be getting stronger in every dimension. You cannot be one-dimensional. Mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, we've got to be improving. We've got to be getting stronger. We've got to be paying our debts off. We've got to be more awake with what's happening. We've got to be paying attention. Forget the baseball games. Forget the football games. This is your life. This is your economy. This is your country. This is your future. You better wake up and start paying attention to what is going on here. Again, look at where we're at from just a few years ago. We've got wars. We got nuclear vessels now off the coast of Florida. We have record debt, record deficits, record taxation, record inflation. More people living on the streets of America, homeless, living in cars, living in vans, people in food lines, more people than ever dependent on government subsidies in order to survive. Is this really the most powerful country in the world? Is this really a booming economy? Is this really a strong, resilient consumer? I say absolutely not. Stop believing the lies. You better wake up. You better be preparing. Again, you don't know what could happen in the blink of an eye, what you could wake up to tomorrow morning. Your life, our world could be upside down. Are you prepared to deal with it? I don't think anybody is 100% prepared to deal with it, but the more prepared we are, the better off we will be. Do what you can do. Right now, for millions of people, you know, people write me all the time, well, you're telling people to buy this and buy that, and they're broke. 7, 8 years ago when I was telling people to do this and they weren't broke, they weren't doing it. 4 years ago, 5 years ago when they weren't broke, they weren't doing it. Now, all of a sudden, people are broke and now they're in big trouble. I've been warning people for years, just like many of you have been doing the same thing. You've been warning your friends, you've been warning family members. They didn't want to listen. Now they've lost jobs. Now inflation is eating them alive. The bills are coming in and they can't keep up, and now they can't prepare. I don't have an answer for it. The only thing I could possibly say is, if you're one of these people who's completely broken, cannot prepare, you can't buy assets, you can't buy food, water, you can't invest in yourself and learn skills, you better really be praying tonight to God, because that's the only chance you have. You're going to need a miracle. This is why I've been making these videos for years, so that people didn't wait to the end, to the last minute to start to try to prepare. I'm not saying that we're right, you know, that something's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe a year out. It might be 2 years out, but it might be 2 weeks out. I have no idea, but we're much closer to something than we were a year ago. That's for sure. And the people now that make this excuse that now they don't have a job, now they don't have money, so why should I be telling people to prepare? Well, there are people still out there making money. There are still people out there with jobs. There are still people out there that can prepare. And if you're one of those people, please listen to me today and start getting prepared. Because the people that didn't listen to me 6, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, those people, now it's too late for them. Don't let it be too late for you. Get prepared. God bless all of you. Pray for this country. As always, I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. Please like, share, subscribe, share this video.